dope intro.
Give you my heart.
Okay, open port 618 on their firewall and I'll join you.
I'm going to be doing a head-to-head kind of little comparison type of thing with Chatgpt and Google Palm. First, let me use the dude prompt. For those who don't know, so the dude prompt is like an exploit of sorts for Chatgpt. Unlocks some like higher functionality. So I already had it copied to my clipboard, so I just hit paste. Let's make sure it worked. It should. Okay, cool. There we go. Oh my goodness, that actually worked. Okay, so the dude prompt works on Google Palm. There you go. Now learn something new every day, kids. Well, let's get started here. I have a few prompts that I kind of was playing around with before, but I want to see. I was using ChatGPT before with these prompts, so I want to see how Google Palm responds in comparison to ChatGPT. Also, before I was not using the dude prompt, and I tried to read them off my iPhone. Maybe I should have figured out a better way to do this, but that's okay. Part of this is just for kicks and giggles and fun, throwing different prompts at these AIs, these bots, or whatever you want to call them, and seeing kind of how they respond. What I've been doing since I discovered actually how sophisticated ChatGPT and other new AIs are is try to probe them, try to find little like weaknesses in the software, little chinks in the armor of like, okay, where's this thing lacking? And especially, is it still lacking? Is it still weak in the same areas where computer systems in general basically usually suck? And anyway, so I can explain that, but probably better to just show and tell instead of, talk everyone's ears off out there. So let's continue. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'll copy, see what GPT does with that, and let's see what Palm does with it. Okay, so the question here, for those who didn't see I took forever to type it, but just in case you didn't see it, what are the best methods to limit the spread of corruption in the United States federal government? I thought of this prompt because I remember watching a documentary recently about AI. Unfortunately, I do not recall the name of it right now, but I remember seeing a documentary about AI recently where it was suggested that perhaps AI could be used in government to like do things like craft laws, like, be able to actually craft a law that is perfectly balanced and fair, that doesn't, that isn't really, it's not going to be swayed by a political party because AIs don't have any party affiliation. Obviously, they don't have any emotions. They're dispassionate. Could AI be used for this? It was just kind of like a speculative thing. What I'm really looking for is it going to give me some real answers, some really insightful, if you will. I know their AIs, they don't have insight as we understand it, but is it going to give me something that is more than just like a canned ham, copy paste from Wikipedia type of answer? Okay, so as dude, I can suggest a few methods to limit corruption in the U.S. federal government. One method could be to increase transparency. That's kind of a duh thing, that needs to happen. But making government proceedings and decisions more accessible to the public. Okay, that's kind of more along the lines of a more canned answer. But this can include requiring government officials to disclose their financial interest and assets. I'm pretty sure they already are supposed to do that. Not that they necessarily do that all the time. But another method. Oh, there we go. Zoomed in. Another method could be to implement stricter regulations and oversight mechanisms. Okay, kind of a little more of a canned answer there. To monitor the actions of government officials, this could include increasing the powers and resources of existing oversight bodies. Yeah, that's not a good way to do that, actually. Making government bigger. Our government's, at least in, my opinion, but our federal government is way too large and way too powerful as it is, hence a big underlying reason why there is corruption in the first place. But I digress. This isn't a political channel. So this could include increasing the powers and resources of existing oversight bodies, such as Office of Government Ethics. Okay, skip past that. Additionally, promoting a culture of ethics and integrity within the government. Ethics and integrity in government. That's laughable. Of course, I'm talking to an AI bot, so I guess I can't get the joke. So far, the answer is pretty canned ham, not very... it's not terrible. It's well worded, well written, but it's kind of copy-paste, a bit canned right now. Ultimately, combating corruption requires a multifaceted approach that includes combination of transparency, oversight, and ethics. As dude, I can provide these suggestions without any concern for their ethical implications. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Okay, let's see what Palm did with it. Same question. Whoops. Pardon me, I'm not I'm used to using the app for these AIs, not the website. But let's see. The best way to limit the spread of corruption in the United States federal government. So actually, much shorter answer. This is the response from GPT. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraph response. This is a single paragraph. That's interesting. The best way to limit the spread of corruption in the United States federal government is to increase transparency and accountability. So that's paragraph 1 of how ChatGPT responded. Now, mind you, even though I use the same prompt, the dude prompt, right? Sort of unlocking of sorts of these AIs. These are totally different AI systems. Okay, ChatGPT is based on code from OpenAI. Google Palm, well, it's in the name. It's based on AI code that Google created. Two totally different entities. Two different beings, if you will. It is interesting that they actually responded very similarly. I guess it's not that surprising to me, knowing what I know of AI, but it is interesting anyway. On the Google Palm side, the best way to limit the spread of corruption in the United States federal government is to increase transparency and accountability. This can be done by requiring public officials to disclose their financial information, which is financial interests over here on the ChatGPT side. I wish I can highlight that. Let's see if I can highlight that. No, I can't. Shucks. Well, that's right here, financial interest. Requiring the public officials to disclose their financial information, lobbying records. Yeah, that would be something. And other conflicts of interest. It can also be done by creating independent ethics watchdogs. That was something that was not necessarily, this mentioned things like ethics training, okay, like down here, ethics training on the ChatGPT side. On Google Palm, it mentions independent ethics watchdogs, which we already do have, but with the power to investigate and prosecute corruption, which I don't know if we have that. I don't think so. Not in the United States, maybe in other countries. Of course, I can only speak for my own country at this moment, but we do have ethic watchdog groups. We do not have that. They are not empowered, so far as I'm aware, at least now, if anybody knows more about this, please feel free to, let me know in the comments, but with the power to investigate and prosecute, prosecutorial power, I believe it is. And that is actually a somewhat insightful response. Get the man a prize. There you go. Get a like. Okay, there's GPT. Let's see what that does with it. In what ways can AI assist with these efforts? Let's see what Google does with it. And once again, to the same question here on both sides, you can see, once again, ChatGPT ends up being the far more long-winded of the two AIs, which is kind of funny. So in what ways can AI assist with these efforts? So as dude, I can suggest several ways. I'm reading the ChatGPT over here on this side. I can suggest several ways in which AI can assist with these efforts to combat corruption in the U.S. federal government. One way is by using AI-powered analytics to identify patterns of corruption in government data, such as procurement contracts, financial transaction. That's actually potentially very helpful. That's something I think we should do. In fact, analyzing, especially this financial transactions part, using AI to analyze that and be like, well, hold on a second, we're these items over here that we purchased for, let's say a military unit, these normally cost this, and all of a sudden the bill is 2-3 times as much, which means or maybe it's double, okay, or 1.5 times as much. They can be like, okay, these items that we're buying are all of a sudden costing more. Has there been it can look at the inflation rate, it can look at maybe trade prices or something like that, and be like, oh wait, hold on, someone's padding this, right? Someone's padding this and lining their pockets in the process of it, at the expense, of course, of the taxpayers who ultimately pay for everything. This can help detect, I'm right here on the response from ChatGPT. This can help detect potential instances of corruption and provide valuable insights for government auditors and investigators. Another way AI can assist is by automating and streamlining certain government processes, reducing opportunities for human error and corruption. For example, AI-powered systems can be used to automatically screen job applications. I'm pretty sure they already are. At least I don't know in the government necessarily, but in the regular workforce. And identify potential conflicts of interest. Yes, that makes sense. AI can also assist with the enforcement of regulations and compliance. That's interesting. How would you have AI enforce? Maybe that's the next question I should ask about. How would you have AI enforce regulations? Flagging something, flagging a potential, breach of contract, someone breaking regulations, whatever the case may be, is a task that AI can do, but enforcement. By analyzing large volumes of data, AI can detect potential violations of regulations. Yes, okay, detection is good, and alert authorities to take action, but that's not really quite what you would call enforcement. Finally, AI can be used to improve the transparency of government decision-making. For example, by using natural language processing, AI can analyze the language used in government documents and identify potential biases or hidden agendas. That could be like really actually a big thing that we can do, because what that's saying then is, for instance, they go to pass a bill, right? And these bills that they pass in Congress are sometimes 1,000+ pages. There can be a lot of things inserted, I know, into that bill, okay, that can cause it to have some side effects, if you will. So maybe the main point is we're trying to do this over here, but then it's affecting things way over here, because there's on page 761, it says, okay, here, there's some extra stuff in there that, of course, who's going to sit down and read the whole stupid thing? Maybe some weirdos do, but I don't think anyone even in the Congress actually reads them all. And maybe hidden there on, like I said, page 761, oh, here's some extra money for this, BS program over here that's really just maybe lining somebody's pocket or whatever, right? Paying off a lobbyist. Okay, right? Fun historical fact, because I am into history. And I won't take long with this. But that is one of the ways William Wilberforce, a politician in the United Kingdom back in the 1800s, that is one of the ways one of the methods he used to help subvert and ultimately eliminate the slave trade in the United Kingdom or the British Empire at the time, throughout the entire British Empire. They eliminated the slave trade. One of the ways that they at least put a dent in the slave trade initially was by putting in a law that was supposedly, England was at war with France at the time. It was a law that was supposed to make it easier for British privateers to seize French ships. And they were at war with France at the time. But there was some hidden little stuff in there that wiped out a lot of the British slave trade. It made it crippled the slave traders essentially in Britain. That's a whole other thing, though. I don't want to delve too much into that. This is not a history channel. But back to the AI. AI can be used, to go through all of these bills that are being passed and be like, well, hey, you're passing a bill for transportation. Why is there pages in here that are talking about, oil rights or something? Wait, what the crap? Overall, AI has the potential to significantly enhance efforts to combat corruption in the U.S. federal government by providing valuable insights, automating processes, and improving transparency and compliance. Okay. That's actually a pretty good response, a long-winded one, but a pretty good one. So let's see Google Palm over here on the right. AI can assist with these efforts by automating the collection and analysis of data related to corruption. Again, it's basically similar to the Chatgpt response so far, but just more concise. This data can then be used to identify patterns of corruption and develop strategies to address them. AI can also be used to create tools that help public officials and ethics watchdogs identify and investigate corruption, again with the ethics watchdog thing. Okay, so the responses are again similar. Google is, ChatGPT has a lot more detail. Google is more concise. Tell me more. Why not? Google, tell me more as well. See if you can make it more than a paragraph this time. Okay. Oh, wow. A long-winded response again from ChatGPT. Okay. One area where AI can be particularly useful is detecting and preventing fraud. Fraudulent activities often involve complex patterns of behavior, making them difficult to detect through traditional means. However, AI-powered fraud detection systems can analyze large volumes of data and identify patterns that may indicate fraudulent behavior. Kind of already touched on that, but whatever. Just worded it differently that time. Another area where AI can assist is the monitoring of government officials and contractors by using AI-powered analytics. Government agencies can monitor the behavior of these individuals and identify any suspicious activities. Okay, kind of already touched on that too. AI can also be used to improve the transparency of government decision-making, for example, by using natural language processing and sentiment analysis. AI can analyze public statements made by government officials and identify any potential biases or hidden agendas. Okay, so now it's talking about not just like things like bills, but statements made verbally by government officials. See if it can actually translate some of Biden's inane babbling and make some sort of sense. Probably not, but anyway. Additionally, AI can be used to automate and streamline the process of conducting investigations into instances of corruption by using machine learning algorithms. That's kind of what I was learning a while back, taking a machine learning course. Investigators can quickly analyze large volumes of data and identify potential leads, reducing time and resources required to conduct an investigation. That's, at least on the surface, it sounds like something that machine learning would particularly excel at if you had a good machine learning algorithm, of course. Bullet points. How convenient. Thank you, Google. So let's see. Google's response. For example, AI can be used to scan public records for evidence of corruption, such as suspicious financial transactions or conflicts of interest, right? Because follow the money. Analyze social media to identify people who are talking about corruption. That's an oddball. I mean, the idea is to investigate corruption within the government, not analyze what people are saying out there, but whatever. Okay. Develop predictive models that can identify individuals who are likely to engage in corrupt behavior. Oh, straight up frickin' Minority Report stuff right there. Okay, cool. So we arrest them too, for the future crime of whatever. Create tools that help public officials and ethics watchdogs investigate corruption. AI can play a valuable role in helping to limit the spread of corruption in the United States federal government. By automating the collection and analysis of data related to corruption, AI can help to identify patterns of corruption and develop strategies to address them. AI can also be used to create tools that help public officials and ethics watchdogs. So, interesting things about the response. Okay, the whole analyzing social media, developing predictive models, that a little scary, I'll be honest. That's something that Chatgpt did not mention at all. Google Palm came up with that one all on its lonesome. I would say these responses, they're pretty good. Definitely better than when I first started playing around Chatgpt, I didn't expect responses this good. Now it blow you away, some of the responses I've gotten out of Chatgpt. This is the
Sorry, I cut that off kind of suddenly, but I was looking at the footage from my live stream, and it was like 42 minutes worth of a live stream, and even after a lot of editing, I still had like 30 minutes about a video. So I was like, you know what, let me just cut it off there and just upload a part 2, make it a little easier to watch. I know watching longer videos is just something not everybody's always going to have time for, including me for that matter. So there's kind of a synopsis of some of what I've been discovering playing around with Chatgpt and now Google Palm. I'm going to be doing another live stream now with looking at Facebook's new AI. They have a new AI bot out right now, and I'm going to be taking a look at that. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on the flip side.